Hi everyone, just about to go out on my new bike. I'll show you that in a minute, but I'm taking the Insta 360 Go Ultra. But what have we got? We've got helmet, something to drink, suntan lotion, putting that in a minute. It's red out there. Something to eat, and then the headband. I've never used that before, so I'll try and show you that if I get a chance. Then we've got the multi connector, I suppose. You can put it on any frame. It's all rubber, and I might try that as well. Got the pendant, which I have used before. We've got the tether, which you're meant to put on when you put it on the pendant, just in case the magnet gives away. What else have we got? We've got on the bike, actually, I've got another mount underneath the handlebars. We've got the GoPro Ultra. We've got the little finger automatic control, so you can tell it to record off your finger. The finger ring, it's called. A couple of tools, sunglasses, so I look cool. Heart rate monitor, Garmin, my phone, which isn't in my phone case, but there you go. That's my book. If you want to go check it out, it's 99p for the whole of June, and on Kindle if you've got one. So we're going to go try a few of these things out, some things I've not tried before, and go for a ride on the new bike, go to a couple of places you might be interested in, and let's see if all this stuff works. Oh, one little thing I did, this little beady thing, you can't thread it through, and it's nearly impossible, so I went to Google, and they said if you had fishing line, you could put that through first and then sort of double it back. And I managed to get it in, but I didn't have any fishing line because I don't fish anymore. But I just nicked a bit of nylon off a dustpan and brush, off the brush, and then you can sort of make a little loop and that goes through because it's tiny. And then you can pull that through and then get the tether on, which is actually a nightmare. I was trying to do it for about an hour. Anyway, I will see you all outside, tell you a bit about my new bike, and we'll have a good ride. I'm the cycling author, or I might be the clown on a bike. I'm not sure which, but I'll tell you about that later on. And yeah, see you out there. Hi, we're out on the road. Just before I talk about the bike, which I'll do in a minute, and the full review later on in the video, let's just talk about the overlay element of the Insta 360 app. Little tip for you: if you on your camera, when you link it to your phone, you can tell your camera to start recording. That actually syncs your timestamp with your phone, which is linked to Garmin, so it solves you a lot of problems further down the line if it doesn't pick up your Garmin or it hasn't got a matched thing going on. So the first thing I want to mention about this bike is if you look at this on the no gradient, I'm doing between 33, 35 kilometers an hour. Normally I do 30 at best, and that must just be, yeah, I'm fitter, but it must just be the aero nature of the bike. The camera is actually mounted on the front pennant, which is behind my cycling jersey, and then it just links on there. You can actually use the crank and move it up or down, but anyway, we're about to come into Croft. I'm going to tell you a couple of things about Croft-on-Tees, and then I'll be back in a bit with a bit more about the bike and a bit more about its performance. Okay, the first stop on our journey is Croft-on-Tees. A friend of mine told me that this pub behind me is in Durham, and as it's in Durham, the old licensing laws where the pub shut at a certain time used to be 11 most places. In Durham it was 10:30, so everyone used to order last orders here, have a drink, and then they would go over the bridge there, and halfway across the bridge you're in Yorkshire, and then they pop in the pub over there to get last orders at 11. So we're in Durham, and hopefully you can see that. Welcome to Yorkshire, God's country, where I was born. Alright, I'll try not to die as we set off, then I'll show you something else in Croft, and then we'll go out for a spin. Here's the camera angle. Apologies for the annoying tether, which isn't attached at the moment. Schoolboy error. So this is the Croft Hotel, where they all used to come and get their last orders. But if I can just turn around here, another interesting fact here. Alright, so this is the church. Hopefully you can see that on the widescreen. And this here is the rectory. Alright, let me tell you something about that. This is getting curiouser and curiouser. So, okay, that rectory was where Lewis Carroll wrote Alice Through the Looking Glass. And the church, the other side, I can just turn my camera around, that church there, If you go inside it, which I'm not going to do now because I'm on my bike, at the back of the church there is a stone cat, which is where the idea of the Cheshire Cat came from. Alright, just around the corner from where we live, and as I'm the cycling author, or a clown on a bike, you take your pick, but yeah, fellow writer, just giving it the heads up before we carry on. I'm going to move the camera angle from my chest to the front of the bike, and we'll do the next spin with that. So you're on the front mount now. I doubt you're picking me up very well, but I'm leaning forward to talk to you. This gives you a really good perspective of what the handlebars these, I guess. I'll leave it on for a bit. Be interested to know if you are picking me up there. Otherwise I might have to get a microphone. There again, I've only got 7 subscribers, so maybe I can't afford one yet. Okay, so here we are. Let's tell you what Ribble think of their new bike. So its full name, it's an AllRoad Carbon 105 Di2, and I've gone for the Aero version. This is what they say about it: a carbon endurance road bike with all the comfort, confidence and versatility you need for year-round riding on the UK roads. This build combines the Shimano 105 Di2 electronic shifting, Mavic Cosmic S42 carbon wheels, and an Aero road integration cockpit, finished with the Selle Italian Model X light saddle. Retails in at $3,199, but I got power meter, pedals and all that jazz, so it cost me about $3,600 I think, but it's an excellent road bike, and I'll be doing a full review of it a bit later on as I'm riding a bit easier further down the ride. So that's what it is. Go look it up. Ribble were excellent. It came more or less built, apart from having to put the stem on, having to put the seat post in and connect the Di2 under the saddle, but everything else was great. So that's what they think of it. I'll tell you a bit more about it and what I think about it a bit later on. Well, that could have been a disaster, because I don't even know if it recorded, because I used my ring thing and I don't know what the range is. Anyway, I'll have a little chat to you now. I've done the turn, we're homeward bound. It's come up to Croft Circuit, the racing circuit. I think that's where it all kicked off with Clarkson, didn't it, on Top Gear. Wasn't even recording there, then he went back to the Croft Hotel or somewhere. He punched his producer, didn't he? Allegedly. Don't remember, he on YouTube. Yeah, so what I've just done there, I've just clipped it to well, I was trying to clip it to a road sign, but it seemed all road signs seem to be plastic now. Decided to click it to a bollard, and it probably wasn't the best. Zoomed it up a bit, but I wasn't sure whether the ring button started it or not, so I might not have got anything. So I'll try and do that later on if I can, if I find a short route. The downside is you've got to leave your camera, ride away, pretend it's your first time you've rode there. It'd be great if I could find a post which is near the road where I can go past it and sort of get my front on, and then ride again and go past it on the other side of the post, and you get that like zoom takeaway shot, wouldn't you, in editing. So I'll have a go at that, go and find one. It's really windy here now, so if you can hear me, my microphone's amazing. I'm out in the wide open. I think they do some cycle stuff at Croft. I know they did the British time trials a couple of years ago. It started and finished there. Went out on a bit of a looper somewhere and ended up on the circuit for the last lap. Been a gorgeous day though, but I've got to get back to my dog. So this time it's back on my chest. That's why I'm talking to you. But I put it on the, there's a little holder you get for it where you can tilt it. Because if you just put it straight on the pendant on your chest, it seems to be looking at your knees all the time. So you get this little clicker thing, and you can choose the angle of attack
because it's sort of on the pendant, it's sort of on your jersey and it flops around a little bit. So you don't want to see my knees, do you? Unless you've got a knee fetish, which I guess you haven't. I don't know, I've only got 7 subscribers, there could be anyone, couldn't there? But this is quite a nice road. At least it's not as bumpy as the other road I always go on. That's why I chose to come this way, and so I could show you Alice in Wonderland stuff. I will talk a bit about my new bike now. I'll show you some pictures when I get back. But I've got a Ribble AllRoad Carbon, and I got the Aero pack version. And I was going to get a Ribble AllRoad SLR because I'm doing a bike ride with my brother over in Mass by the Sea to Scarborough to York, day 2, and day 3 York back to Mass by the Sea. And there's a little bit of gravel, not a lot, but there's a few off-road bits. So that's why I wanted an all-road, but also it doubles up as both, doesn't it? I predominantly want to ride on the road, so I don't want a gravel bike. Having one that can handle a couple of things. So this bike only came out about a month ago, and weirdly they put all the SLRs on clearance. So they have a bike called AllRoad SL, which is aluminium, which is the entry-level all-road, and then the top-end all-road is the AllRoad SLR. Problem with that, it was right at the top of my buying power. I put so much money aside, and so it had no gizmos with it. You know, I wanted a power meter, I wanted probably aero integrated handlebars, I wanted, it doesn't come with pedals, does it? I wanted the cages and everything, so it was just ramping up. And when they brought the carbon bike out, which isn't the same frame, the SLR's got integrated storage, this hasn't, but it's more or less the same looking frame. It's in a nicer colour. I know colours don't make you go faster, I get that, but it's it was just what I was looking for really. And by getting the Aero pack, apparently you're paying £400 for the Aero pack, which if you bought all the bits individually would be £700. So I think that's the benefit of getting a new bike, isn't it? Hang on, where am I going? Left. Back to Monte Darlo. And well, there we go, out the wind. So yeah, I thought I got the best of both worlds. Haven't quite got the SLR frame, but the tyres, the Aero tyres are better than the carbon ones. I mean, they're alloy on the SLR entry level, but the carbon ones are not as good as these wheels. I've looked them up. The tyres on this are better than the tyres on that. So the Aero pack version I've got, even though the bike frame probably costs a little bit less, I thought it was a lot more beneficial, and I got my power meter. So yeah, I've only ridden it 3 times, or twice. I dropped it as well. Before I'd even ridden it, I just put it against the wall in the house and it fell. So I've got a couple of scratches of shame, or scratches of honour, let's call them that, before I'd even ridden it as well. I was in so much trouble. But the first thing, I had a Cannondale CAD 12 aluminium bike of the year, wasn't it, in 2017 or something, or 2007 I think. Anyway, that did me well, but I knew nothing about bikes then, so I got a large, just assuming, well, I wear large t-shirts. Maybe t-shirts and bikes are not sized the same, because a large is for between 6'2" and 6'5", and I'm 5'7". So the first thing to know about this bike is it's a small, and straight away, and I know it's a more modern bike and it's carbon and everything, but the handling, it's just, it fits me a lot better. It took me a while to get my sight handle right, and I still think it needs to go down a touch now. I think I put it up too high, but it's it feels like it's part of me. So when I'm cornering, and I'm not an expert biker by any means, but you just feel like a bit safer on it. The other thing just seemed like you were driving a truck. And don't get me wrong, my CAD 12 didn't do me any harm, and I'm going to leave it on my turbo trainer. Excuse me, wait there. Let's concentrate a bit there. But it was just a bit big, and I always felt I didn't have enough gears. I went into a bike shop and said, can I have any more gears? I haven't got enough gears. And they went, if we had £1 every time someone wanted more gears, you always want one more, don't you? But this is, that was manual shifting. This, I guess I'm doing a review of the whole bike now, aren't I? This is Di2 shifting. A friend of mine, Paul, when I said I'm going to get the Ribble SLR, actually, the carbon hadn't come out by then, he went, what group set are you getting? And I didn't know what a group set was, but then he told me. And I went, I'm just getting the manual because they're brand new manual Shimano 105 manual group sets come out, 12 speed. And I sounded like he knew what I was talking about. He went, Trev, do yourself a favour. It is like chalk and cheese. At least get a Di2, because once you go electronic shifting, you'll never go back. And I can remember the first ride I did a couple of days ago. I did record it, but I didn't do any of the stats. So I might put it out, I'll see. You know, the bit at the beginning where it wasn't synced with Insta 360, so it didn't produce all the stats. Anyway, yeah, the first couple of gear changes I did, I was like, my God, why would anyone want manual shifting? We're back at Croft, you can see, probably got a view of the church there. And it really is a massive difference. It's immediate. You can program it. Excuse me. You can program it, which I haven't done yet. But you know, you press a couple of buttons to make it go down to. You can even make it semi-automatic. So the minute you get down to if you're on the big ring, and you get down to too big a cog, you can automatically shift to the little ring and down two on the other ring. So you can program it on the YouTube app, which I've not done yet. I'm on the YouTube app. I just haven't programmed it because I know what I'm doing. Plowing on the bike. But so that's the first thing. The shifting is unreal, and it's so fast. And when you're on a hill, you don't get caught out, do you? Because you can just press it a couple of times and it bails you out. Whereas manual shifting, you can occasionally get it wrong. And you're all over the place. So, yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing is the integrated handlebars. They came with the aero pack. That was another reason I got it. It's just so clean. You've got no wires anywhere. I must admit, I had to check my CAD 12 to see if there's wires there, because a lot of that is all hidden away, but it's still a mess on the front end. Talking about having a lot of furniture on the front end, this is so slick, and it must do you some good, mustn't it? I mean, the fairly flat bars at the top, no grip on them, no handlebar grip, but they are quite comfy. I'm on them now. Didn't even see if I just move my chest down a bit. It's they're very comfy on the top, so comfy over here. They give me the size that came out the box. You could have changed it. And on the hoods, doing a bit of aero, it's so comfy. I think half of that is down to handlebars, and half of that is down to I'm on a small bike. Before I was a small bloke on a big bike, and trying to get in an aero position, too much of a reach. I think it's called reach, isn't it? I think I'm out of battery.
So back to me in the studio, I'm afraid. I did put the Insta 360 Go Ultra on the front handlebars, but then I put my hand in front of the microphone because I didn't want to put it on the carbon because I've already scratched my bike once, didn't want to do it again, even though it probably wouldn't have done any damage. So this was unusable. But what I'm talking about here is the wheels. So the Carbon Mavic wheels are fabulous. Not sure if I realise much difference, but I'm sure they're giving you a bit more aero. And I think the tyres as well are 32mm tyres, which seem a bit large, but the new rolling resistance thinking is that wider tyres, for an amateur at least, are better, and you can put less air in them, because I used to pump my tyres up to 100 psi every time with thinner tyres on my Cannondale. And it was like your bones were shaking at the end of a ride on the UK roads that we all know what they're like. So it's a more comfortable ride with a bit less air pressure in. Also, it's a lot faster by all accounts, by all the boffins who are in the know. So how do I rate the AllRoad Carbon with the Aero Pack? I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10. I couldn't believe on the flat here, when you look at the power output and you look at the speeds I was hitting, not near the end when I was talking, but earlier on the ride, hitting 40 kilometres on the flat. I normally hit 30 kilometres on the flat on my road bike, so I'm getting 10 kilometres an hour from somewhere with very little effort. The other thing that happens, I guess, is when you're on Zwift a lot, your power's cheating you a little bit, because it's all getting worked out and they're doing the best they can. And I love riding on Zwift, don't get me wrong, but there seems to be a slight delay when you put the power down. You can't sustain it for as long. There's no freewheeling. So riding outside, I think you really get the benefit of the training you've done, but also the power when you kick it in. If you've got a little ramp, you just put a little bit of power down, you're already up the ramp, whereas on Zwift you seem to be treading through treacle a little bit. So overall, wheels fabulous. They're making amazing sound. So for you free hub junkies out there, I will put the spinning wheel noise, which I think not short videos get thousands of views for them, so you never know. But thanks for watching my channel. I hope you thanks for Ribble. They don't sponsor me with my 7 subscribers, but so this is an honest review. A fabulous bike, 10 out of 10. So glad I made the purchase, and I look forward to riding it more and more and more. I'm even looking forward to my 3-day ride, which I wasn't before because I'm rubbish on hills. So take care out there. If you can, subscribe, like, comment, do whatever you like. It would really, really help the channel. I'm putting a lot in here, but we'll see. It's up to you, isn't it? If you've lasted this long. Ready for you free hub junkies to hear the noise? Take it away.